game is played live. We just got invited to the lobby and the game just got started up as well. Of course, we often cast replays as well if the players were not able to play on the scheduled time or on the time that we wish, or we don't want to make it too inconvenient for them, don't really want to force Europeans to play at 5 AM. But this time both players were able to play this game live, and it is a 100% live game. And then, of course, something that maybe some people have forgot or don't remember or just never knew before, there is $150 on the line for each and every single best of 3 you win in the regular season at the NASL.
Yeah, that's such a nice paycheck, especially if you have a great run. If you have 4, 5, 6 winning weeks, that's going to equate to close to $1,000, maybe over $1,000 if you play exceptionally well.
If you win 7, it goes over $1,000. 5 to 6 won't make it, man. I'm glad that you didn't really try to do the math.
I didn't say anything wrong.
Yeah, well, you said 5 to 6 over $1,000.
Getting close to $1,000, and if you play exceptionally well, it goes over.
Look at you, man, being spawned.
Covering my bases, man. Not doing math, but making smart statements.
We can see the no gas fast expand over here for My Vengeance, who is of course Slayers MMA, our Korean Terran spawning in the left bottom side of Whirlwind. Wow, Ben, that's a crazy opening, by the way. CC into gas. That's not something you see each and every single day.
Yep, I think that means that he wants to be macro aggression, like sort of. I'm going to go ahead and predict a Cloak Banshee out of MMA. QXC looks like he's going to be playing gasless fast expand, so right away this is more in line with what you predicted, Kevin. Yeah. Macro style because of the big map.
Whirlwind is just. I like to see this map as a cooler version of Tall Dream Altar. I'm not sure if you agree with me on that, but that's kind of how I feel about Whirlwind.
I think that's a pretty good statement. It's geographically not way different, but it still has ramps so that you can actually defend your bases.
Yes.
And I don't know, it's got a nice pretty tile set. I love this tile set.
Me too. It feels calm. Stalkers feel really happy on this tile set. Have you ever noticed? I feel Stalkers just feel so home. Walking over a little bit of grass. If I had metal feet, man, I would walk over grass all day.
Why?
Because it's soft. Like if you like metal on stone, it's like click, click, click. But every now and then you can find some nice grass over here, and kind of like you're like a little bunny.
But stalkers have pointy feet.
Yeah, so if you're a little.
So they would like sink in the dirt.
No,
like what if they stepped on like some wet dirt?
It's kind of like when you put socks on a dog. You're not gonna try to shake off the sock. That's like if you're a stalker. Wow, double. Command center opening over here, by the way, Ben, for QXC.
Yeah, that's a pretty ballsy opening indeed. SCV Scout's going to pop up and see.
No, it's a really big scout for QXC, as he's going to see this reactor. He's going to see the factory as well, so that's really going to allow him to deal with this a lot better. It's still scary, but at least he sees it coming. Massive scout.
I would really like to see him just cancel it and go Tech Lab, or even...
Yeah, that would be quite smart. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, because this certainly points toward Hellion play. And Factory doesn't.
Unless he wants to go elevator play, but no, that doesn't seem to be the case.
He can still go Hellion into Banshee. That's not out of question either. He is still mining gas, although it is only off the one assimilator.
He's gonna drop a starport right now, then.
I think it is gonna be Banshee probably.
Tech Lab?
Show me a Tech Lab. One time, baby.
He has the gas for it right now, so he could do it. Yeah, we do see the Tech Lab going down. Interesting stuff. 2 more Rexes on the way for Complexity's QXC. As MMA is of course completely unaware of this triple orbital or triple command center opening. Actually, MMA is just now scouting, man.
I gotta say, Kevin, I really like MMA's opening.
It's kind of greedy,
he got the faster first command center. He's got a small worker lead. QXC's going to be able to sort of turn that on its head when he starts producing off this third command center, but at the same time, we're going to see Banshees and Hellions coming into play.
I hope he doesn't just drive these Hellions up right now. Nice, he's going to park them out. He's going to wait for 2 additional Hellions. Ben, it was not a Banshee, it was the original medevac. So, I was right, haha.
We can still see a Banshee.
We could eventually definitely still see a Banshee, man, but medevac right now is going to be quite crucial. Scan goes down by QXC though, and he will spot this. He will see this output shake a little bit as well, so he knows it's producing something. Yep,
medevac pops right out. Come on, Banshee! Don't make me a liar.
It's going to be a Raven now.
Yeah, that'd be so typical. Third command center is already down for MMA as...
Oh, a double armory going down for MMA, so there's going to be some serious mech.
Sort of MVP style, but of course that doesn't apply in TVT.
Oh yes, it does. It's MMA, man. Everything applies. Then we do see that Banshee ban, so we were both a little right and a little wrong. As we see, there are still a few Marines in the main base with QXC. So if those 4 Hellions make their way into his main base, He's going to spot it quite easily. He has buildings on the outsides, on the outskirts of his base. So I think QXC should be fine.
Hellion does go ahead and unload. Those Marines are in a good position. Hellion's going to give the old run around, see if they can find anything that they can kill. But QXC is really doing a nice job of protecting these SCVs.
Well, those Marines kind of lined up ugly, Ben. He's going to have to bring in some additional Marines from his natural.
Really nice micro from MMA as well, keeping the damaged Hellions alive for as long as possible. Finally has to evacuate.
MMA did that very, very well.
Had a grand total of 3 worker kills, but also killed quite a few Marines.
Yep, and more importantly, he kept 3 out of 4 Hellions alive. And he delayed quite a bit of mining time, which is of course not something you see in the production tabs or the income tabs. But it does count.
Banshee's going to show up around the back of the natural expansion right now, and this is going to force yet another reaction out of QXC. I feel like he's got enough units, though, that he can actually split up his army a little bit and defend both sides. Yeah. Banshee's still not revealing herself. There she goes. And
something that was super crucial as well, we do see this Banshee going to town on this natural expansion, and immediately QXC pulls away all the SCVs. Oh, careful, MMA flies that Banshee a little bit too far forward. Is that those Hellions got a great scout up as well, and MMA knows what he's facing right now.
Oh, MMA miscontrolling the Banshee. MMA, no! The Banshee is shot down, so critical mistake. That is a huge investment for minimal return. Two workers killed by that Banshee, and that is all.
Great scan over here by QXC. Shall we call it the money scan, Ben? Let's do that for one time.
If ever there was a money scan, that's the one. Spots all of MMA's tech, sees exactly what he's up against. So we saw QXC play mech against MMA's bio. We saw both these guys play bio tank against bio tank, and now we're going to see MMA's mech against QXC's bio.
Man, these are 11 Hellions right now making their way across the map. Blue Flame is not ready yet, but that's a scary amount of Hellions.
There's nothing in that bunker, Kev.
There's nothing actually in the natural right now. Now finally a lot of Marines. Whoa, that's a good timing, QXC. That shouldn't have been 20 seconds later.
MMA is not going to check.
I think he wants to wait perhaps for Blue Flame. QXC is going to see this right now. He's going to be like, oh, that's a lot of Hellions.
Right to be a Marine.
I should probably be quite worried about the potential harassment.
Maybe I should put something in that bunker.
Maybe I should fly over my orbital and accidentally scout this medevac. Man, QXC.
Yeah, QXC
I hear voices, man.
Playing well and also catching a few breaks here and there. MMA still dancing around with these Hellions. He's going to go ahead and unload up in the main base. We'll see if he can get any workers. QXC again being very, very quick to pull his SCVs, not taking any chances at all.
This is awkward. Guys flying his command centers, guys.
I don't really want to touch down here.
Nope. Even though these guys are not very strong, they kind of give me a nasty look. They said, I know where you live.
I would like to look underneath the command center when it's flying. Do you think it has like fire shooting out?
Sure, man. Space. Tons of fire. MMA has a small worker lead, man, as he's on 73 SCVs. There are 65 SCVs for QXC. QXC is going for the first big drop of the game. He's going to take out the sensor tower. But there are so many Hellions over here. And Blue Flame is ready now as well. Yep, and there are Vikings
with
too.
Blue Flame. Vikings in tow are going to do some good damage to these medevacs.
Poor Billy and his family get left behind. And the medevac gets shot down too. So minimum damage done by QXC. Excellent defense by MMA.
Yeah, very, very well done. Completely, I would say, offsetting the ineffectiveness of his early game Banshee harass, as he now moves up to a nice 30 supply lead.
I mean, that Banshee ban definitely didn't kill a whole lot, but it did force some mining time to be lost as well, and still picked off 3 or 4 SCVs, and it was not absolutely terrible.
That's a lot of Hellions and not that many Marauders, and MMA is just going to go right for it, surrounds everything. Reinforcements do show up though, so QXC answering right back.
Little odd movement over there, because the tanks were not actually fighting too many Marauders. He doesn't want to lose his siege tank. Now there are enough Hellions. This is a fight that MMA can take, and he knows it, and most of these bio units, they will fall.
Hellions just crushing Marauders. It's not often that you see that. And another small fight goes in favor of MMA, still sitting on about a 13 supply lead.
This animation reminds me of the Oracle, his old ability that he lost. Then we do see those 4 Hellions coming back right now. All the SCVs are kind of lined up.
He finally gets a couple of shots off, but still QXC's being...
Oh, bad.
MMA, protecting his economy so well.
You can see it on the minimap right now. That's a pretty big red dot, MMA. MMA is going to spot it. It's going to send the Hellions a little bit too late. I mean, the Vikings.
Medevacs will be shot down. Hellions are going to have to come try and clean this up.
This QXC did force a cancel on one of those command centers, but MMA is still quite far And all this is a big mistake over here by MMA, just sacrificing 4 Hellions for absolutely no reason. This drop is still not cleaned up.
Yeah, being a little bit under, I guess, appreciated. Not quite giving that drop the respect it deserves.
You really want to roll with the word under, but you just didn't know where to take it. Underwhelming? Underwhelming defense? Anything? Appreciate? Taking a look at the unit counter tab right now, we see 10 siege tanks on the map, 4 MMA, 3 Vikings and 2 Marines against 15 Marauders, 28 Marines and 3 Hellions.
Supply-wise, it's getting closer, 166 to 156. Army supplies are identical right now. The only difference in the worker count, and that is where MMA leads by 3, Kev.
I'm really obsessed with this animation, man. You saw the old animation, the old ability from the Oracle, right? Which gave vision?
Yes.
It's exactly kind of like this. But then it spinned a little slower and spread more out. True story. I like that ability, man.
Maybe that's like a crashed Oracle. He's like...
I would not be surprised since all my Oracles crashed each and every single game I made them because they got like 60 HP, which made me really mad.
Oh man, right now QXC has a large bio ball out in the middle of the map as he continues adding command centers. I'm very impressed with the macro play of QXC. His money has spiked up a little bit, but I don't mind that so much. Oh, what I do mind is this drop, not really doing well. He's gonna get a couple of siege tanks. That makes it a lot more worthwhile.
Yeah, I got 2 siege tanks. Not the end of the world.
It's gonna get a lot harder to drop though, as MMA has been adding in those turret rings.
MMA is gonna move out, Ben. He's pretty much maxed out. The upgrades are awesome. He has 2 upgrades on his mech units right now. QXC's guys, I guess, gonna try to flank this, but it's gonna be very hard to execute.
MMA's like hunting for that army. He's like, I know it's around here somewhere.
A couple of Marines will take care of these 2 Hellions. Of course,
Look
MMA has to be careful.
Marine. Oh my gosh.
Well, there you go. Here comes perhaps the first flank ban, but there are so many siege tanks. I don't think the QXC you want to stim down.
That would be a very dangerous maneuver to make. At the same time, we've got Hellions in back of QXC's expansions doing a little bit of damage. Nothing there to really deal with it. Finally, some units come out and try to deal with the tanks that MMA had in that forward position.
I mean, MMA is just sacrificing a ton of Hellions. They are quite cheap after all, and he did take out quite a few SCVs, but he lost a lot of Hellions.
No such thing as a non-cost-effective Hellion, Kev.
Never as cost-effective as the 8 Marines of QXC we saw in the previous game, though.
Also very true.
More Hellions cruising down the south side of this map right now. QXC is moving towards the middle too. He has so many Marauders, but he has 30 Marauders. I think that might actually be enough. If he crushes this army, ooh, he's going to lose his medevacs.
Certainly if he attacks from both sides, you could have a really good shot at killing it.
Marauders going to fight Hellions once more over here.
Where's the rest of MMA's army, man? He's got very little like support units for these tanks. There's 17 Hellions somewhere. I guess they're just all spread out. We do have another Hellion run by in the back of this this planetary expansion.
QXC, season in time though. Scouting barracks over here. Barracks. It's like the mix between a factory and a barracks. Is he gonna siege up in time? He has to siege up right now, and he does do that. QXC is maxed out, man. And he's taking a hidden ninja base over here on 12 o'clock as well, which I kind of like.
I like it a lot, Kev. It's going to be hard for MMA to spot this. It's also going to be hard for QXC to get workers over there. But even if he just drops mules, it will be well worth it.
Oh, I'm kind of worried. Oh, unfortunate siege tank. There are 3 siege tanks over here, but that's not enough. These units are stimming in right now. Where are the tanks? There are no tanks yet. There are a lot of Hellions, but that's not enough to deal with all those Marauders.
Tanks are so out of position. They're a little bit late to the party. Finally, they get into a reasonable spot, and QXC does back off once again. QXC playing this bio really, really well and just abusing the mobility and all the different attack paths you get on Whirlwind. This is exactly how you have to play bio when you're playing against mech.
It's kind of nice to play bio on such a big map, though, where, I mean, it's not Shakuras where a couple of siege tanks shut down everything. There is so much space to move around. We saw 2 additional star points going down in the main base for MMA, by the way, Ben. So, do you think we might see better cruisers?
It's a very possible transition. QXC still dancing around with these Marauders at the top half of the map, but he's going to get slowly surrounded. MMA, oh no, got to be so careful with your siege tanks, MMA.
Oh, a lot of Marauders died there, actually. And these Vikings, they're going to try to hunt down these medevacs.
Oh, one medevac is sure to fall, and the Marauders are all going to be unloaded. That means the second medevac is going to fall as well.
Vikings are a little bit quicker than medevacs. Had to double check that to make sure I had my facts straight. But medevacs fly at 2.5, while the Viking cruises at 2.75. Unless it's Tom cruising a Viking, then it goes 3.8. It's a true story, man.
Because Tom Cruise has the need, Kev.
Then we do see the fusion core going down for QXC as well, as we saw him adding 2 additional star points as well. I'm not sure how many star points these 2 guys have. I would like to check it out, but first I'm going to have to see if QXC is going to be able to deal with this massive mech army from MMA.
That's a huge army, and he's got a very dangerous position outside the natural of QXC. This is just a wedge being driven right into the infrastructure of QXC, and I don't really know what he's going to be able to do to deal with this. He's going to try to counterattack.
But it's not all that much. There's a planetary fortress. He's not going to be able to take that one out. We have a couple of Stim Marauders dealing some serious damage over here, but Marauders don't kill SCVs all that quickly.
Oh, MMA, he is perhaps seconds away from taking this game, pushing further into the natural of QXC, shutting down the mining at QXC's 3rd base. The 4th and that hidden base still sort of untouched, but does it even matter if QXC can't produce units? He can't win the game. Marauder's going to try to come down this ramp and see if they can bust out, but the tanks and the Hellions are just too much. And QXC is lifting and evacuating his main, Kev.
But still, Ben, QXC is dealing a ton of damage as well. And army supply, it's 82 against 101, and I feel the smaller the armies go, the better it's going to be for QXC, because it's easier to stim in and pick up a couple of units with Bio than it is with Mech. Obviously, Mech can stim, but you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean. Just more mobility, more speed, more options to take favorable fights, quite frankly. Right now, QXC's fighting siege tanks with SCVs.
Yeah, there are a lot of tanks over here for MMA. That's the best thing. MMA has his main very well prepared. QXC is going to try to stim down once more. He wasn't paying attention. Neither was MMA for a little while, so MMA will still be able to win this.
Yeah,
but this could have been a lot better for QXC.
It's getting better and better for MMA. QXC making a couple of missteps in the midst of all this action.
Can't blame him.
Now the Vikings are going to come forward, and they're going to shut down, or potentially shut down these medevacs. Wow, man, MMA. Just unbelievable play from MMA, up over 100 supply now. Cleaning up the last of QXC's counter-aggression, and I think that might be the trigger for QXC to tap out, Kev. He's lost control of his main, he's lost control of his natural.
MMA is like, action on 4 spots, I like it.
Standard play, GG is called, and MMA takes it, but we have got to take our hats off for QXC, who just played a beautiful 3-game TVT series against one of the best Terran players to ever touch the game.
I couldn't agree more, but I really think QXC played fantastic. Game 1 kind of looked silly as QXC was so far ahead. Somehow MMA still won that game, and then you kind of thought like, I wonder what's going to happen in Game 2. Well, what happened is that QXC played fantastic and took game number 2, and even in game number 3, it really looked quite close for a while. I felt it really started to snowball when he lost all those Marauders on the left top side of the map and didn't really get a good fight. Suddenly MMA was 30-40 supply ahead, and that was also like sort of a trigger moment for MMA. It's like, right now I'm going to really move in my tanks, I'm going to try to put some serious pressure on. And MMA did it really well, that he kind of, despite losing his natural, already started to think 3 steps ahead. Okay, as long as I keep my main, I keep my production facilities, I should be okay eventually. Keeping all those tanks over there, sieging up, doing that really well. But as you said, man, hats off to QXC, because despite losing 1-2, I think he played a great series.
I could not agree more. We're going to take a very short break, folks, and then when we get We're going to take a very short break, folks, and when we get back, we'll recap our day and wrap it all up.
We would like to give a shout out to Epson.
Yes, you're exactly right. That last game was sponsored by Epson projectors. Sorry, brain fart there at the end of the show. I have no idea. It's just like shut down, Control Alt Delete, something like that.
The moment that Ben gives me a questionable face when we have to thank the sponsors, I get really worried. That's your job, man.
All right. Sorry for that. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere. StarCraft 2, final thoughts from the North American Star League after this.